one of the things I didn't tell you is I'm usually not lost for words either. But I am. Well, talking to Connie about what I was going to say tonight or what my experience was here at the seminary, she asked that I share a few of the reflections about my time here, and they actually, when I was looking at them, intertwined with some of the people that I need to thank in a reflection for my ministry. Bishop Scout, if it were not for you, many of us would not be sitting here today. We probably wouldn't be doing any ministry. Think back, December 1977, the howling snowstorm outside your prophets class, and John Kelly and I hadn't quite left yet because we were trying to figure out what we were going to do for the next semester. It had been suggested that we take college. How could we? We had graduated degrees from Marquette in theology. When we told you that, you were rather perplexed, and you asked, as you watched the snow and watched your watch, whether you could call us after the holidays, that you would look into it for us. And we agreed, and you wished us a safe drive home. And I figured, well, I'll hear something, not quite knowing me yet. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, I got a phone call. And he said we would be taking classes here at graduate school, not at the college. And you asked if I would work with John Kelly and Tom Knievel in research and design of a new pastoral graduate program for lay students. With that invitation, how could I refuse it? Skip ahead for 2.5 years to the spring of 1978. I was very pregnant at the time. And I remember you walking from Kylie over here to him, and you had some papers in your hand, and you said you were looking for me, and that could mean many things at that time. But you had good news. And the good news was that the degree had been accredited by both North Central and theological schools. So I actually was going to get out of here with an accredited degree, which to my husband's gratefulness as well. And it was the MTS, which later on we learned, as someone called after I wrote that after my name, oh, is that a new religious order? For your trust and your faith in me and the lay students here and those of us who follow, I thank you. To my son Frank, you already heard the first story. It was last class of marriage and family life. I was excused from because I was actually in the hospital with him. But it was, my kids grew up with my ministry. They answered the phones, they came to meetings. He actually slept through the defense of my thesis here. He worked with the volunteers at Crossroads Interfaith, participated in things, helped me sort all types of stuff across our table as we did magazine sales and stuff as a parish. Thanks, kiddo. I appreciate it. And you say we often marry our opposite. Well, I'm only 5 feet, my husband's 6'4", you know. I was named a Vatican II progressive, and he likes to go with the flow. Dan and Phil Berrigan were my heroes, and he used to say, who? Frank, your years of caution about working in the central city never did fall into deaf ears. I thank you because those reminders reminded me every night when I returned home to a safe home, children, food on my table, checks in our bank account, that many of the elderly people that I worked with were alone, did not have that money, did not have the food, and very often didn't have good roofs over their heads. Now, as you manage your own engineering firm, I too see how greatly you affect the lives of other people. I'm proud of how you have provided just wages and benefits, often extending them well beyond the norm because your employees have been sick. Thank you for supporting my 35 years of ministry, and thank you for no longer saying who, and knowing that justice also flows from you. I begin each day, I don't know if you folks use this or not, with Creighton University's online ministry. Have any of you seen that? Okay. It's a good reflection when you need to whip through 10 minutes. Our recent daily scriptures have been full of Paul's letters and the story of Jesus' ministry and the travels with his apostles and disciples. As I was thinking about tonight and my years, I can't help but see that what we do, none of us do alone, and as Bishop Scott said earlier, and nor is it fruitless. I would not be standing here, and many of you would not be sitting here without the actions of Bishop Scott. I for my son and my husband. Also, I wouldn't be an interfaith without the clergy, the great lay people, and many congregations and staff, and a number of social service agencies throughout Milwaukee. We do not do it in isolation. Carol Eschner, our executive director from Interfaith, who joined us this evening, has worked tirelessly for many years to develop and support now one of the largest nonprofits serving older adults in the state of Wisconsin. While we have for many years, and my employee number is number 2, so if that tells you anything, she's worked pretty hard through the years. While we have had for many years not necessarily always agreed on things, she has knowingly or not allowed the Spirit to work. I thought I'd shut up. Okay, sorry about that, Pete. Carol has trusted me to direct and to lead 3 programs. Thank you, Carol. I am known for having a high energy level, but there's somebody that beats me, my pastor, Father Bob Marcic. Salvatore. He can put me to shame with his energy level, and I know that because your fellow Salvatorians tell me that. Known for his sincere love of people, along with a good barbecue and your good wines, he's been an inspiration, forever modeling concern, kindness, sincerity, healthy fun, and not just golfing, but also roller skating, genuine warmth for family, and a love for all ministries. I learned that as a trustee. If I wanted to go hardline, he reminded me of where we really need to be. You have a sincere belief in our ministries, our church, and your priesthood. Thank you. Before I close, I ask for your prayers and offering one last example. My mother. She's not 103, she's 92. Unfortunately, she broke her hip at the end of July and suffered an infection and is now in hospice. But I guess they say apples don't fall too far from the trees. And even only as a high school grad, she leaves an important legacy. And my brother reminded me of that. Because her first child, my older brother Ron, has Down syndrome, she was told, and this is what they told him back in the early 50s to late 40s, put him away, forget about him, institutionalize him. She refused to. She and my dad used every penny they had and educated him at St. Coletta's School in Massachusetts, which is now the Cardinal Cushing School. He served Mass many times with Cardinal Cushing and worked 34 years on the grounds of Massachusetts Hospital School. He just paid 4 years of his own nursing home care with his own money. And if you know how much nursing home care costs, it's a lot. Because of him, my mother worked tirelessly in the 1950s and the 1960s to change state educational law, and Massachusetts became one of the first states to require public education for the developmentally disabled. She and Cardinal Cushing were with Ted Kennedy when it was signed into law. Good people, we have been called. And as I reflect on the 6 people tonight, I just use as examples. They live out the gospel message. We hear many gospel messages. We also do it in different ways because we have different gifts. We do them spurred on by different reasons, but fueled by one, Jesus. The sin is when we do not use those gifts every time that we could. The beauty and the grace is when we use those gifts simply because it is who we are and what we do. And as you said tonight, Bishop Scott, as a disciple and as a church. Thank you.